All right, guys, Mark III. The smaller motor honestly just made me angry. The instant power that the other one provided, I'd gotten used to that. I just don't need this high as a top speed. It's fine. You just have to control yourself. But I do like the lower seating position, and I like these street tires. For Mark III, what we're gonna do, we're gonna strip the new smaller motor off and take all the buttons out of that, because I think I could put the buttons from the bigger motor into that control panel. I just have to figure out how to fit all the stuff back behind it. It shouldn't be too bad. There's a lot of like upper room, so I can make little platforms or something to hang the controller off of. The key is, am I gonna be able to fit the motor between the seat and where the axle starts? Break on through to the other side. See why I leave carpet on my ground? It's so nice. I'm gonna charge that up now. Skippy Rock. We weren't originally going to call this channel Skippy Rock. We were going to come up with a clever name, and then later, once we had a following, then start introducing the fact that we had, made this video game and see if we could sell that as part of our merch. But then we couldn't think of a name. Jason's Hobbies? That's stupid. Nothing sounded good. So we were like, screw it. Just call it Skippy Rock. And Skippy Rock was born, or forced upon the world. Okay, so that's undone. I just realized it's gonna be a pain to get all that stuff out of there because those buttons clipped in. That's a problem for future Jason. Look at it. I got that on the first guess. Aha! All right, I found the chain and the gear. I like to label stuff so whenever you look through it, you can find it labeled. So this is a chain. The 428. There is a smaller version of this. This is like the 90. They had a 70. It's dirty. Man, the seat pushes on that cord. That's a question. Can you have the chain that close? I don't care, because I'm going to do it. Let's actually get the seat down. It's not down all the way. Can I cut a hole in the seat? The seat's got like thickness to it. I bet you I can melt the seat. The only problem with the seat is these wires are like, they're so stiff, are hitting the seat. I really think I can heat up that seat and dent it into that area. Starts right about here, over to here-ish. All right, so look. I bet you if I heat that up with a heat gun, I bet you I can gently persuade that to go in. Oh yeah, it's getting soft already. It's gonna take a bunch of heat. This is not pushing through to the other side. Ow! I'm just gonna hold this for a minute and see if it cools. I was gonna want to come back to its shape. Don't come back to your shape. Let's see if that did anything. Kind of looks like it did. It's definitely a dent. All right, that did it, and that's where it needs to be. And what I want to do, you can see I've drilled several holes as I've just moved and changed different motors. So I want to strengthen all this up and give me more to grab onto. I'm going to use a whole piece, or a piece of angle iron, and I'm going to run it along the side of there, and I'm going to leave the little down pipe, or whatever you call it, so that way it can add some strength. It needs to come there, 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 and there. The flat part is going to come out of those sections right there. All right, looks pretty good. Ta-da! Yeah, that's perfect. It actually needs to come. If that hole works, these holes were just over the line. So I actually need to kind of come in a little bit. All right, hole, front hole. My welding mark is like right here. I just need to cut off that part and I will be good to go. Cameraman told me his favorite part in the last video was watching me play with wires, but I want to use this gas pedal because I like it better than that wire. It's controlled by wire. So I chopped this off the control by wire, and then I chopped the plug off of this one. So this one has 3 colors and this one has 3 colors, but this one has black and this one has yellow. What are the chances that I can just do the yellow to the black and that'll work out? Okay, I might be learning. I didn't actually go ahead and solder these together. I just kind of twisted the ends together and then insulated them by sliding the shrink wrap over them, but I didn't shrink it. So now I can do the bench test and still take this apart without having to do a lot of extra work. Here's my spliced but not spliced together connector. Pedal is plugged in. Let's go grab the throttle by wire cable and see if that one still works. Just back together. That's on. Bench test. I went and got this one, which is what it came with that other kit, and hooked it up. Man, this thing's super touchy. Look at that. So why can't it read that, but it can't read that? I don't want this one. I want that one. Will it do that little one? All right, little's dinky pedal. So the dinky pedal doesn't work. Something about these pedals. I really like that little pedal. I guess I'll whine a little bit and then I'll email the company and figure out if they have anything useful to say. Good news. Look at this. Power on. Watch. As you could tell, I figured it out. I emailed Electrico. They said I could send this stuff in and they'd reprogram it for me. And I said, well, if I have the dongle, can I plug it in and figure it out? They go, yeah, it's on the first page. It's probably the voltage is wrong. I use this, I connect it to the computer, and I could see the voltage setting. Figured out what voltages this thing is putting out. So I found out the low voltage was 0.89. The high voltage was 4.57. So that's the range. This thing goes from 0.89 to 4.57. When I went into the settings, what I saw, the low setting was below the minimum output. The setting in the computer, the low setting was set to like 0.8, it was actually 0.88. So that means as soon as this turns on, it has a signal coming from this. And if it has a signal coming from the pedal, it goes to that fail-safe mode where it won't let you go at all. So I raised the number, the minimum number in the computer to 0.9. And actually I went up to 0.95 to give a little, because it felt really touchy. So 0.95. And as soon as I did that, it started working. I've done some welding. I got that piece in there and I even ground off my excess so it doesn't look so blobby. That's ready. I just got to drill the holes for the motor. What I'm working on now is the controller. Taking this little thin piece of steel and welded it across the top of there. What I'm going to do now, here, you sit here. I'm going to do the bottom piece. This is where the controller is going to go. I have very precisely taped the controller to another piece of that stuff. I got this side lined up. I need to grind out there to get some metal. And then I need to cut this one short. And I'll need to grind out just solid metal here. And then I'll weld this into place. Let's go ahead and show you guys some action shots. I don't think I've done much of that in this build. All right, good. Probably good enough. So actually with this project, that's probably the end of the fabrication. All I have to do is bolt it all together and test it out. So this thing might get a makeover. Like if that works pretty good and I like it, I'll strip everything off, clean up a lot of the welds and repaint it, like get it a new color for its new badassness. Wow. All right. Like a glove. All right, that's where that goes. Make sure these will fold up. Yeah, they'll hit that thing. Drill out holes. Okay. This one, I just need to make sure I bore that out. Same with this one. And then the new hole is right here. Let's get the controller attached up here, and then we'll run all our wires before we put the seat back in. Actually, what we'll do, we'll test it. I got this mounted nice and secure. Maybe up in the air will keep it nice and cool. Let's get this wired in. Don't cross streams or something. After I get all this plugged in, I'm going to hook up the chain and do a bench test. This one's got to come and hook to that red one. Actually, I guess this is no longer a bench test. This is a in-place test. And we'll see if I can buy one of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pin connection from Amazon, so I can make a new one of these. I can't get that apart, but I'm going to try it like this. But I'm going to order switches so I can put it in my other thing. All right, that goes to there. That looks like a lot of flop to me, but it literally can't be any tighter with my positioning. I'd have to scoot that thing forward, which is doable. I'm going to try that and see how floppy it looks. So I have to take out 1, 2, 3, 4 links. I'm going to try to put it on in place because I don't have enough looseness. Let's get it. All right, power's up. Does it go the other way? All right, it didn't flip off, so I'm going to move closer. I mean, there's some definite movement to that chain. That's kind of pretty. Cable management, put the seat back on, do a test. I went ahead and put this up top. I don't know why, because I didn't get any buttons into it, and I'm going to have to take it back off to put all the buttons in. So for right now, I have the on-off switch just kind of cable tied there. The electric pedal is in place. That little display screen, I just have it shoved underneath the seat because it's pretty useless. All it tells you is what drive you're in. It does tell you your speed, but you have to figure out how to program it. All this looks pretty good back there. That's kind of hanging off of there. I'll check to make sure it doesn't rattle loose as I drive. All the cables are zip tied out of the way so they won't interfere with the axle. I need to put air in the tires, but my tire pump is in that room. Socks. Flip-flops upgraded to socks. Or downgraded? I don't know. So what I'm going to do is what I've dubbed a delicate test. Can this thing drive delicately enough to get into that room so I can put air in the tire? All right, we're on. Oh, that's good. Oh no, it's plenty delicate. I bet if I gunned it, it would just... Reverse is not as delicate as forward. All right, this is close enough. All right, well, good. Mach 3 test. Lower seating position, street tires, big motor, breaker gone. Somebody's jogging. I'll try not to run them over. God, it's so much smoother than that stupid little motor. Let's see if this thing peels off. Jesus. All right, this is awesome. It does not feel like it's gonna flip. When I gunned it though, it did trip there's 2 cutoffs that I was worried about. One cutoff is in the battery, one was my breaker. My breaker would eventually trip. The battery, I think you can keep going by going slow and steady, but I did trip it just then just by gunning it. Let's see if I trip it now. Yeah, do you see it jerk? That's when the breaker tripped. But the breaker and the battery is okay because as soon as it stops, it goes again. All right, that's fun. God, I need the bigger battery. God, this is so much more fun. All right, let's make sure nothing's on fire. I do smell a little burning. I think it's just rubber from the tires though. Nah, that's fine. None of that feels too hot. Yeah, it's just tire smoke. No, none of this is overheating. Actually, I'm kind of looking at this now. It kind of leans, front wheels are higher than the back wheels, but I do have the suspension as high as it'll go. So I'll probably crank that down now with these lower street tires. I'll do that when I have the whole thing apart to repaint it. All right, that felt really good. I'm gonna get my GoPro so we can see how fast we're going. This version is super fun, but there's some issues. I don't know if I didn't have this tightened up enough. It was kind of slipping, and then like this whole arm feels a little looser than it did before. It might not be strong enough for my setup, but this is the motor that's fun. I mean, you just need the power. Without it, it's just boring. I'm gonna take it apart and tighten all the bolts and everything. Just make sure it's set up right. Probably rework the aesthetics, get the buttons in that, and drive it around a little bit more, but I think we need to start from scratch. The wheels, seat, control panel, motor, controller, a lot of that stuff will be able to move over to the new project. Probably just end up hanging this frame on like a barn wall or something in remembrance of my first go-kart. I made my first kart to match Mario's kart because it was a Mario Kart and that's kind of like the standard color and color scheme. Truthfully, I never really identified with Mario. And Luigi, while yes, he's the taller brother, he's just such a goody two-shoe. Who I always identified with was Waluigi. That's my Waluigi pose. All right, let's see how this thing goes. It's super fast. Does it look fast? Yeah. Is that a driver's ed student? Yeah. I'm gonna get out of the way. Okay. It tripped the battery. I popped over the curb and it scratched the bottom a little bit. Ruined my beautiful paint job. It's all together. It's pretty good. Alright guys, this final version of the kart is the best version. The gold and the purple. It's a beautiful combination. Also, it's low. It doesn't feel like I'm in danger of flipping it, no matter how hard or sharp I turn. It drifts a little bit without the drift sleeves, which is really what makes it good. The shaking of the steering column that I was showing you, some of the bushings inside it popped loose. So I was able to push those back together. Once they were pushed back together, it felt solid again. Who knows why they shook out? Maybe it's just gonna keep happening, something I need to keep an eye on. But the steering feels a lot better. But I think this is a good little kart. I like the motor, but it's time for the next build, which I'll be bringing to you guys soon. So if you enjoy our videos, oh, there we go, that's a good shot. If you enjoy our videos and would like to see more, please like and subscribe. The channel is Skippy Rock. We got an app, check it out. It's as exhilarating as me going around in this cul-de-sac. This is a sneak peek of the next build, so stay tuned.